Most drivers still have no idea this happened, but a major shift in driving laws has already taken effect. If you are operating your vehicle the same way you were last year, there is a real chance you are violating a rule right now. Not next week, not next month, today. Across the country, drivers are being stopped, fined hundreds of dollars, and in some situations facing criminal charges because regulations quietly changed. There were no major nationwide alerts, no official letters mailed to households, no loud public warnings that enforcement was about to begin. Yet enforcement has already started. Recent data shows that a large percentage of drivers are completely unaware these updates even exist. And that is the real danger. Not knowing the law does not protect you from a citation. It simply means you find out when the ticket is already written. One of these new rules in particular is catching drivers off guard more than any other, and the penalty attached to it is severe enough to turn a simple mistake into a financial nightmare. As 2026 began, 10 significant driving laws were updated nationwide. Some are federal standards, others were passed at the state level, but each one directly affects how you are expected to drive starting now. The most concerning part is how quietly it all unfolded. While drivers continued their routines, law enforcement agencies were already adjusting their procedures and issuing citations under the new rules. If you are still driving like it is 2025, you could be one traffic stop away from an expensive surprise. In this video, I am going to break down exactly what changed, one law at a time, in clear language so you understand what needs to change in your driving habits immediately. I am Sasha, and I spend hours reviewing legal updates and enforcement shifts so you do not have to learn about them during a roadside stop. Let's begin with the first major update, which is already costing drivers nationwide. As of January 2026, a new federal distracted driving standard is in effect. This rule completely redefines how handheld phone use is treated. The guideline is straightforward. If you are in the driver's seat and your vehicle is operating, holding your phone in your hand is now an automatic violation. It does not matter if you are stopped at a red light. It does not matter if traffic is barely moving. If the engine is on and the device is in your hand, you are breaking the law. The base fine begins around $250 for a first offense and increases for repeat violations. Points are also added to your license, which almost guarantees an insurance premium increase. In many cases, the insurance hike costs more over time than the ticket itself. Some drivers believe that placing the phone on speaker while still holding it counts as hands-free. It does not. The device must be mounted or fully integrated into your vehicle's system. Voice commands, dashboard mounts, and built-in systems are permitted. Holding the device in any capacity is not. The solution is simple. Install a proper mount and rely on voice control features. It is far less expensive than dealing with citations and insurance penalties. The second major change involves highway lane positioning during rush hour. In more than 20 states, new right lane usage rules now apply on multi-lane highways. During designated peak traffic hours, the far right lane is intended primarily for drivers preparing to exit. If you are not exiting within the next short distance during those hours, you are expected to move into the center or left lanes. The purpose is to ease congestion and improve merging flow. The confusion comes from timing. In most states, this rule only applies during defined morning and evening rush periods. Outside of those windows, the right lane functions normally. However, enforcement during peak times has been strict. Fines often range between $150 and $300. If you remain in the right lane during rush hour without planning to exit, you could be cited. The third update actually provides protection for drivers, but only if you understand it. As speed cameras expanded, several states introduced laws requiring clear warning signs before camera zones. In most cases, signage must appear at least 500 feet in advance. If you receive a speed camera ticket and there was no visible warning sign, or if it was obstructed, you may have grounds to challenge it. Drivers have successfully had citations dismissed when municipalities failed to meet signage requirements. If you plan to contest a ticket, document the location carefully. Now we come to the rule causing the most expensive mistakes in 2026. Emergency vehicle yielding procedures have become much stricter. Previously, drivers were told to pull over and allow emergency vehicles to pass. The updated rule now requires a specific sequence. When you see or hear an emergency vehicle approaching from behind with active lights or sirens, you must move to the right side of the road and come to a complete stop, not a slow roll, a full stop. Here is the detail many drivers miss. You must remain fully stopped until the emergency vehicle has passed and is at least 200 feet ahead before moving again. Many drivers begin driving as soon as the vehicle clears them. Under the new rule, that is a violation. Penalties commonly start around $500 and may include mandatory traffic school. Officers are actively monitoring compliance because secondary collisions were occurring when drivers re entered traffic too quickly. The fifth update affects electric vehicle drivers. Parking in an EV charging space without actively charging is now widely prohibited. Even if your vehicle is plugged in, once it reaches full charge, you are usually given only a short grace period to move it. After that, fines begin. Enforcement technology has improved, and some stations can notify authorities when a vehicle has completed charging. Fines typically start around $100 and increase in high demand areas. The sixth change expands school zone enforcement hours. Many states extended school zone timeframes to include early programs and late activities. Enforcement may now begin as early as 6 a.m. and extend into early evening. Fines have also increased significantly. In many jurisdictions, speeding in a school zone begins at $500 with automatic points added. In severe cases, excessive speeding may even carry criminal charges. The seventh update clarifies recording rights during traffic stops. In several states, drivers are explicitly permitted to record interactions with law enforcement using dash cams or other devices inside their vehicles. This can be helpful in court. However, sharing footage publicly without blurring faces or license plates may violate privacy laws, leading to civil liability. The eighth law involves cannabis-related DUI enforcement. Several states adopted per se THC limits. If a blood test shows levels above the legal threshold, a DUI charge can follow automatically. Unlike alcohol, THC can remain detectable long after impairment fades. Even legal use can create legal risk if you drive too soon afterward. The ninth update targets teen drivers. Curfew hours and passenger limits have been extended in many states, even for fully licensed teens. Violations can result in fines that often impact parents directly. The 10th law addresses autonomous vehicles. In certain cases involving fully self-driving systems, liability may fall on the manufacturer rather than the human occupant. However, this depends entirely on whether the system was truly operating in full autonomous mode at the time of the crash. Documentation is critical in these situations. The bottom line is this: 10 major driving laws changed in 2026, and many drivers are unaware. These are not suggestions. They are active, enforceable laws. The emergency vehicle yielding rule in particular is generating the most costly mistakes. Pull over, stop completely, wait until the vehicle is well ahead before moving. Staying informed is your strongest defense. Laws will continue evolving throughout 2026, and knowing them ahead of time protects you from unnecessary penalties. Thank you for watching Uncut Updates. Stay alert, drive responsibly, and I will see you in the next report.